So, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. So we're gonna be doing another episode of New Nerds Enjoying White Wine, and now we finally have a full crew. We have the broadcast boy himself, the Deucey.
It's really good.
The legend.
The legend.
What's good, y'all? Good to see you. Happy to be here, Corey, Eric. Thanks for having me.
Having you not, you are us.
That's true.
This
is my first time. You guys already did this before, so.
Yeah, and you're also drinking Corona.
Nurturing Corona. Welcome to Neck.
Welcome to Neck, yo. And we have Eric back.
Hello.
Hello. Hey.
It's a little toasty in here, so don't mind if I dab a few times throughout.
So, for this video, we're going to be doing a 2021 MCU wrap-up. So we're going to be giving our thoughts on all the MCU shows and movies that came out throughout the year, and also kind of give our ranking of how we feel about them in order. And we're just going to kind of just let the conversation go how it goes. We have Nelson here who's going to kind of help us guide it. He is our Molly Carum and Stephen A. at the same time.
That's right. Compare me to Molly, I'll take that anyway. Molly's a bad bitch.
But before we fully get into the video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as well as hit the notification bell to get notified for more content that I put out, as well as you might see this video on, wherever Nelson decides to post it as well.
You'll see it.
We're making it happen. We're making it happen with New, with 2 W's. And also, if you enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like, as well as leave a comment. Let me know if we're garbage, we're trash, if we don't know what we're talking about. Or you can let us know if we're geniuses or bright and beautiful people. It's up to you.
Or just nerds.
Or just nerds. Or just nerds.
Oh, we all learn our own way.
There we go.
Or just nasty nerds who like white wine instead of red wine who have no class.
New podcast name, Nasty Nerds Who Like White Wine?
Nasty nerds.
Nasty nerds.
Nasty nerds
Imagine that.
enjoying white wine.
No.
If anything, Eric's nasty.
Well, let's not get personal.
Eric is an honorable young man.
Yeah.
Honorable.
Gentleman.
Gentleman
and scholar.
I love it.
Let's, get right to it. Let's see.
So, on the MCU timeline of 2021, our next show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, March 19th. It dropped. Great show. I loved it. Probably more than the both of you, I think.
I think I liked it as much as you did.
I really liked it. I really liked it.
I'm gonna pour my ninja. I'm gonna pour my ninja because I'm gonna be that guy.
I know you're gonna be that guy.
Yeah.
But we're prepared for that.
Yeah.
So first off, initial reactions to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Eric, I want to hear from you first. What exactly did you feel about the show? Where did it miss? Where did it exceed expectations? Go for it. Talk to me.
I liked it a lot, and I think the reason why you and I probably liked it maybe a little more than you did is that tell me if I'm wrong, I feel like it gave off like a buddy cop kind of vibe with the two of them.
Yeah.
So that was just like kind of like a lethal weapon-esque kind of thing, which was great. Another reason why I loved it a lot is that we got to know a lot about Mackey's character a little more with his family and kind of his upbringing and stuff, which was dope. But I have to admit, man, like seeing that scene in that what was it, like 4th episode, Winter Soldier, like finally losing that like thing that was ingrained in him to be like a lethal killer. Like when I saw that, I was like, yo, Sebastian Stan can actually act because the tears and everything that he gave. So I liked it a lot. Like I love the kind of the trajectory of it. Sure, it was a slower show than WandaVision. I think that's what kind of hurts it a little bit to go right off of that. But I don't know. I thought it was a good show. The action was great. It's definitely movie level production in that show. So I thought it was great too. But definitely just the between the two of them, I liked it a lot. The dynamic, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. The dynamic between the two of them I liked a lot. I liked getting U.S. Agent. It was just kind of expanding the Marvel universe a little bit too, so I liked it. It was dope.
Okay. We'll dive a little bit more into that. Corey, tell us everything you hated about the show.
I'll go last. I don't want to burst. I don't want to be the middle burst bubble.
Nelson, what did you like about the show?
Okay. We'll talk about.
I'll burst the bubble in the end.
Nah. I love the show personally, right? Just because. I love the show just because, the Captain America thing was always just super, vanilla of, who he was. And what
good old boy, all that.
Good old boy, exactly. And I think the show, I think it was important that it explored the whole aspect of Captain America not necessarily representing America anymore. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And America holding on to that representation and not being willing to let it go. which I think is very important to touch on, and also very on time for just the fucking state of the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's why I liked it. I also liked, like you said, the dynamic between Sam and Bucky, and the introduction of U.S. Agent, who I hated.
But then they make
at first, but they kind of make you fuck with him by the end.
Like one of my low-key favorite characters in that show. Yeah, right. He's so funny and also despicable at the same time.
And that's Wyatt Russell. That's Kurt Russell's son.
Very good.
Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. His son. And he's a great actor. I didn't realize he was a great actor, but he was in 22 Jump Street. Remember that?
Very funny, yeah.
And he was funny as shit in that.
Oh, I didn't see 22 Jump Street.
He was Channing Tatum's like homie in college.
Fake love interest.
Fake love interest. But yeah, so U.S. Agent, the dynamic between the two, the fact that we like learned some more interesting things and got more background into who Sam and Bucky are as people, and also, I think the MCU does such a good job of just exploring the trauma that these motherfuckers go through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because it's like, from a fan point of view, just like watching comic movies and stuff, I find myself like watching anything with, Superman or whoever, any comic book, superhero, whatever. And like, I'm the type of person who's thinking about like, damn, they gotta just repair that building now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't think about consequences. But
damage
like,
control.
Exactly. You don't think about consequences. But then shows like this that allow you to dive deeper into the character to see, and we'll get to it, but also with Hawkeye, you were able to really just kind of see what this life and the effect that it has on regular ass people. Granted, Bucky, he's a super soldier per se, and Hawkeye is just one of us, so it hits him a little harder. But I just think that MCU does a really good job of addressing the trauma and, fleshing it out and kind of like seeing character growth.
Yeah.
That's why I like that show. And
making them human, bro. They made them
that's the greatest thing I think about the MCU shows versus like the movies. And we'll talk about Black Widow soon because we're going to get to that point. But that's why I feel like Black Widow should have gotten a TV show in regards to flesh out more of herself than having the movie, because what they did for Winter Soldier and Falcon and Wanda as well in their shows is that, and eventually Hawkeye when we talk about it, is the way they flesh out these characters is it's nice. It's something special that they do over the course of 6 to 8 episodes.
Yeah.
So that's just me like expounding on your point for
that. Right. But tell me how you really feel about the show.
We'll try not to.
You see how fake I was being the whole time? I was like, yeah, that was cute.
You tell me all this fake shit. Now tell me how you feel about the show.
No, I like the show, bro.
Okay.
I like the show.
Okay.
I like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't love Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Explain to us why.
You guys love buddy cop movies. I could care, not that I could care less. I just didn't grow up as a film buff as you guys. I didn't grow up really watching adult movies. No. I acted my age.
Yeah, we definitely.
Yeah, bro, we were watching like Deep Blue Sea at like 9.
Yeah, I had the nerve.
Godfather at 10.
Yeah, I had the nerve to act my age and watch my Rugrat tapes over and over again while you guys were watching Rush Hour 1 at 6 years old.
What a classic. Definitely.
I had an older brother. I don't know what the fuck your excuse is.
My dad, that was.
We had mad bootleg tapes in the crib, but I was really like a kid watching cartoons. Like my mom watched mad cartoons, so I don't have the taste for nostalgic and older film the same way you guys. I don't know this. I don't know them as well.
Right.
So certain tropes don't hit the same for me. They don't give me a sense of nostalgia.
Sure.
They don't really bring the same level of endorphins. They're cool. I enjoy them. Like there's random movies with those genres that I enjoy. Like randomly, I told Eric today, I was like, I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you happy. I want to watch The Departed. He was like, anytime, man. I'm ready.
I love that.
I'm so ready. So and I feel like, that fits into like, that Falcon and the Winter Soldier kind of theme. Even the Captain America Winter Soldier movie. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of where I get to the point of where, like, why I don't think the show is the best thing ever. It's nothing crazy. Because it felt like an extension of what we already got in Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Great film. Not my top 5, you know that. But it is a great film. And I feel like that was more of what we got in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And because the villain in Falcon and the Winter Soldier was so ass. Like, the villain for Falcon and the Winter Soldier was so ass, it made me just like be like, then why are we doing this? What are we really worried about? But everything else they did for Falcon and Winter Soldier's character and fleshing them out and talking about the race topic, which I was surprised that Disney even went with that route for this series. So you really even
they really went
go into depth of like, yo, a black man is about to become
America's
Captain America.
No.
And instead of them just saying like, they could have easily went the route of, let's just act like that's totally normal. That's okay.
Yeah, like it's not a big deal.
Like that's a big deal, and also like
America's woke.
yeah, we had a black president. Like we're fine. And the fact that they even had a character in Isaiah Bradley who was scorned and was kind of the representation of like what a lot of black people usually feel about America. It was just like, really, you really about to become their flag? That's what you about to do? Like that representation in the show meant a lot for me watching it. I wasn't expecting it. So there's a lot of good things that they did. But because this is still a TV show and it's still a comic book series and the villain's ass and that's part of the story, it knocks it down. It knocks it down a couple pegs for me because everything else that's driving the story is kind of meh. Yeah. In which I go to the point where, we kind of got into a debate in the group chat where I was just like, you could probably skip Falcon and the Winter Soldier and still be pretty well informed on where the MCU is.
Yeah, this is where we disagree, brother.
I think that you would be fine. I think it was obvious in, Endgame that he's going to become Captain America. We know this. We know that if you watch another movie without watching this show, Falcon Sam Wilson just shows up as Captain America, you would not have been surprised. You would have been like, yes, you guys told me that in the movie, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, what it did was expound on it and give you more details of the process of becoming Captain America, which is nice to have. I don't think you needed it, but I enjoyed watching it. That's what I'll say.
Okay, so that's fair. But there was one thing that you said in the group chat that you're not saying now, and maybe it's because
I may have forgot.
We're on camera.
Maybe because I made you see it a little differently. You said that it didn't do anything to move the story forward in the MCU. I still believe. Okay,
tell him why he's wrong.
I think that you're wrong because in the Marvel cinematic universe, there's levels to this shit, right? We have the Captain Marvels, the Thors, and the Hulks, and then we have the fucking Phil Coulsons of the world. Shout out Phil Coulson, right? And we just have these low-level, just regular-ass human SHIELD agents. So the scope, right, and the range of how big and vast this Marvel universe is in terms of power level is so big, right? So naturally, the shows about the more powerful characters are going to push the story along further because that's how you expand upon the universe. But those small little stories about the humans need to be told because that's what makes it relatable to the average person.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So that's why I think that show is very important because, if you show up and you if you show up to a theater and you're watching some Avengers movie and the last time you saw Sam Wilson was when old Cap had them in the SHIELD, and then he shows up and he's in his like Captain America suit, you probably would be fine. Like, okay, that makes sense. But people need to know like how that transition wasn't sweet. That's not realistic.
Yeah.
That the transition was so sweet. Oh, Cap gave this dude a shit. Oh, he's the new Captain America. Everyone accepts him.
Yeah.
This story needed to be told. It's just on the human level. So no, it doesn't push the story forward as much as Loki did. But I think that in terms of humanizing the MCU as a whole and continuing on with that theme that, every story is important, I think that did a perfect job for that. But Flag Smashers were fucking trash.
They were. I was trying to remember the name, but also, side note too, I think another reason why it isn't just something you can skip is because when you see U.S. Agent again, or when you see, what's her character's name? Elaine. I keep saying Elaine because she's from Seinfeld.
Yeah, Elaine from Seinfeld. I forget her name. Valentina,
yes. Yeah, like those two, like it's gonna be confused. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Thunderbolt, which is a big thing that they're definitely setting up.
Because if you saw Black Widow, you already know. You got the peep at her.
You know Valentina, but you don't know U.S. Agent. I feel like he's going to be a lot bigger than people.
I agree that there's things that they added that, is going to be beneficial for the bigger MCU. I just think that you'd be alright. If you were a casual Marvel MCU fan and not like a diehard like us who watch everything and want to know everything about it, and you're just somebody who said, I just went to go see No Way Home just because, it's the newest joint and Eternals is garbage and that's what people think, stuff like that. Those type of people who don't see the value in it and don't do too much, I think that they would be fine, the casual fan, if they just didn't see Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I think the movies are made for the casual fan.
Yeah, the movie.
shows.
The shows are not.
The shows are made
Except
for
for,
us.
like, but the thing is, WandaVision and Loki. We'll get to Loki, but WandaVision, or at least, is a show that is like, you kind of can't skip WandaVision. You don't even know why you got to this point when in Doctor Strange trailer. You don't even know what he's talking about. You don't even know what, for a casual fan, don't know
Because
what
it's so massive. That's
Yeah.
why, because of her power level.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I feel that you're saying that. Because of the power level that these beings have, that Wanda, Strange, whoever these other fucking people,
Beings.
what the powers that they have, then yes, their powers are so massive that they are
They cause a bigger effect.
Their
a bigger
universe
ripple effect.
changing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But these other characters, even like Hawkeye and this one, because you can say the same. I can make the same argument about Hawkeye not being.
You can skip it.
You can skip it.
It doesn't really change much, but you can't.
You can. I can make the same argument. You could skip Black Widow.
You know what you can't skip in Hawkeye? The theater scene.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started on that. We'll get there.
You can do this all day.
I literally can't do this all day.
It is stuck in my head. I can do this all day. That's my shit. All right, fine. Okay. So we kind of touched on all of this, but I want to ask this question in particular: were the Flag Smashers the worst villains in the MCU history, dating back to Tony Stark?
No.
Malekith.
Is that
Malekith?
Malekith
Thor 2?
from Thor 2?
Thor
Yeah,
2.
I couldn't even remember his name. That's what I was going to say. Like,
Malekith is the worst.
that's the worst villain that they've ever had.
It's just. Did he even speak?
He spoke.
I don't remember what
He wasn't great.
what
No.
they did, bro. Like, it just.
But can we agree that Carly Morgenthau and the
No,
Flag
she
Smashers
wasn't
are on
great.
their
No,
level, bro?
for sure.
She was just fighting for her life.
But I remember her.
I get it. I like that they turned her into Carly instead of Carl. Like, I thought that was cool,
Yeah.
interesting, and fresh.
It was just bad, bro.
But I
It was
just thought it was
why?
bad,
They
bro.
were trying so hard to make you care about her and her endeavors, and like on paper, I get it.
No.
Like, yes, you guys are the ones who were left behind during the blip, and everybody coming back has made a whole bunch of people displaced who finally figured out life 5 years into the blip.
Sure.
But I don't care about you. I
Yeah.
don't care. I
They
don't.
didn't do a good job making us care.
I don't care. Like the villain
They
could
tried.
just.
They tried having her like run community. I'm not saying they did a good job, but they tried.
You could have had the whole show without them even being present.
No, for sure.
Everything that happened could have still been happening without.
But that's-
Could have been
we're
Sam
also-
versus U.S. Agent.
But we're also this is like a Marvel problem for the most part. So that's why like I can't knock the show because they're not the only thing that has like a whack villain. Like there's been a lot of movies where villains were like meh.
Yeah.
DC did a good job.
Yeah, but Marvel wise, that's always
DC's actually really good, I think, at the villain thing.
No, they are.
Second Suicide Squad.
Which Suicide Squad?
First one.
Nah.
All that
Great
chit chat,
villain.
all that chit chat's gonna get you.
What do you
hurt.
mean? All that chit chat's gonna get you hurt.
Don't stop. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'll walk out right now.
Okay.
Now, so in a less than shocking turn of events during Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we found out that Sharon Carter was the power broker. Oh my God, who knew? All right, so at what point in the show did you know Sharon Carter was the power broker, and why was it her first appearance?
It might have been episode 2.
Honestly, the first 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes of her
The
being
first episode she showed up, it was like, you being mad sus right now.
Yo,
Yeah.
speaking of hamming it up, bro, she was delivering every single line like some like snarky ass. Like, it was very evident.
She ain't Maggie.
Yeah, she
ain't Maggie.
Nah.
She don't got it like Maggie.
No, but yeah, you could tell within the first 10 minutes. I think when her character showed up, like, all right, something's up. Like, she's clearly not the same exact Sharon Carter that she was in the movies. But
Yeah. It was, I mean, I don't, maybe she
also
wasn't,
forgettable.
But
maybe
I
she
also
wasn't
felt
blipped, and she probably just had a...
No, I don't think she was. I think she was doing that as like when everybody else.
Yeah,
was,
so she
changed.
those 5 years she had to...
Dark
adjust.
it was very easy to figure out, but I totally got why she was salty and why she was.
Oh yeah, no, fuck, yeah,
Cool.
fuck
Her reason is, she was like, y'all, I did mad stuff for y'all, and y'all just didn't even care about what happened to me after. Like you were saying with the whole, there's so many after effects that happen from these characters that like people don't really be thinking about. Like buildings be getting destroyed, and like they just be using people. They just used her, and she was just like, I've been over here fighting for my life, selling drugs, and selling weapons, and you guys are just like the mans. Like, y'all are just heroes. But Sam can't take out a loan at a bank, so it's really how much of it is he?
I like that too though, because it's showing like, yo, they don't have a sweet life. Like they're going through a lot of the
Yeah, they
struggles that we
broke.
are.
Hawkeye the only one who got money. Hawkeye the only one who could pay for shit.
Because Laura Barton, you know how to say it.
Laura.
Okay, let's go back to my question. One of the questions I like asking though, like, which character for you stole the show? I'll go first. I think you just said it. Baron Zemo.
Yeah, so funny.
Baron Zemo stole the show.
They fixed him. They literally fixed him.
From the first one, right?
From Civil War, I was like...
No, he was good in Civil War, though.
He was dark.
He was a great villain in Civil War.
I agree.
A great villain in Civil War.
Yeah, but it's just like...
Because he won.
It just... You know, they didn't have him do anything.
He wasn't Zemo from the cartoons and the comics.
But I wasn't even expecting him to, like, go full... It's just like, they made him more of a conniving character.
Yeah.
And they didn't even show that he had any hands whatsoever. Like, any, like...
Well, that might have been because it might have been early on because I think Zemo like turned into who he turned into because his family got killed.
No.
In the events of Age of Ultron.
He was in their version of like in their army or something like that. He was a trained killer, so he's always been killing people.
Yeah, he's always...
Right, but I'm saying maybe he didn't go bad until then.
Oh no, he definitely didn't go back till then. That point,
That's my point.
But I'm saying they just didn't display any real skills besides being the
Manipulative,
conniving, and manipulative. Yeah. That's the only thing they displayed in Civil War. They didn't even really display like his combat ability or his ability to kind of take care of himself. They really just every time they kind of just took care of him very easily. Once they got face to face with him, it was like, hey.
Yeah, but that's why I kind of loved him as a villain because it was just a regular ass. I mean, clearly he was a trained killer, but like a regular person breaking up a team of superheroes just from the inside out. I thought it was good.
And him dancing in the club.
Oh yeah, we're talking about the show.
Yeah, forever be a meme.
That's Eric's spirit animal.
That's literally how that's if I do dance, I do that. So
it wasn't this. It was a.
Oh, yeah, he was just having up and down.
It was what the kids.
I love that. What was he talking about the Marvin Gaye CD too? When
he said you're out of pocket.
Yeah. He's right. He was great.
Oh, you're out of line, but you're right.
Zemo was
Zemo.
Trouble Man. He's talking about Trouble Man.
I think Zemo for me was the character that stole the show. Yeah,
I agree.
For me, Winter Soldier easily, bro.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Love you some Sebastian.
You love that scene.
Not even
you love Bucky and Dora Milaje's relationship.
I love that, bro. I love that Bucky was low key giving Falcon's sisters the eye real quick once or twice, and she was flying a little bit. There's a little tension there. I don't know.
Bucky was getting messy in Wakanda.
So you relate to Bucky?
Oh, I wish I was Bucky, but I'll say this too. Another reason why I liked it is that I really loved that they like dived into the fact that like he's now past the stage of like him being like a murderer to what he is, but the feelings and the ramifications of what he did is still hitting him. Like him talking with that Asian gentleman's the bar owner is talking about how he killed the bar owner's son and then having to deal with that after. I thought that was just great. I really thought they like fleshed him out really well. So he was definitely like my favorite.
Him trying to go on dates.
Trying to move on, trying to go on dates, realizing he can't do that because he has to deal with his past first.
My guy's
I love that.
110.
He's bagging him though. He's bagging him though. They're looking at him.
Struggling, fighting for his life.
What about you, man? Who's your favorite?
It's Zemo.
Zemo.
Zemo. I was happy every time he was on screen. He's just
funny.
Definition of stealing the show. It's those. I already knew what I was gonna get in regards to like. We got more of who they are for the most part. Falcon and Winter Soldier. We know that Winter Soldier's the straight man, and Falcon is like the straight man who's also the goofy guy. Like he's the one who's gonna do wacky stuff. But because I knew Baron Zemo was going to be in this, and because of how underwhelmed I was with his representation in Civil War, what they gave me in this, I was just like, oh, nah, my man's just here to stay.
They gave us the mask for 2 seconds, and I needed that.
Bro, the mask is so silly. He can't breathe in that. There's no way. There's no way.
They're like, we'll give you one scene, and then he takes it off.
There's no way. They could have made it a helmet. It doesn't have to be the ski mask.
I love that. That mask is great, though.
Look, before we move on, one thing that I do need to point out, my favorite scene in the whole show, when U.S. Agent gets his shit rocked by the Dora Milaje, and then it's just like so hurt that he has to take the super soldier serum. What?
We didn't even talk about U.S. Agent that much, really, because like he's a really, really good character.
Yeah. He also was fleshed out. They got to flesh him out.
They did a really good job of like really making you hate him and then making you feel bad for hating him. You're like,
liking him, like, oh, he's relatable a little bit, actually.
For sure.
You're just trying to, like, avenge your mans.
Yeah.
You're an avenger.
He really did look fucking dumb, though, when they just, like, bodied him.
Yeah, he was doing
something. Dora Milaje took him out. That shit was hilarious.
So funny. Effortlessly.
What did he say? He said, they don't even have the serum. They don't even have the serum.
They're not even super
He thought he was the shit. He really thought he was the shit. It was quiet for him very quickly.
Oh, my God, man. That's what's so funny about that is Wakanda's so lethal, low-key. We'll find out more about Wakanda.
Oh man, I cannot wait for
that very soon. I'm sure.
So what do you rate Falcon and the Winter Soldier out of 10.
Okay. Falcon and the Winter Soldier out of 10. For me, and this is for me this is a low score, but this has no indication about how bad it is. I think it's a 7.5. 7.5, maybe 8 if I'm being generous.
I go 8.
I'm saying 7.5.
I might go 7.5. 7.5.
I feel like I'm gonna be higher than everyone.
I can't get. You love everything.
You know, I always give high scores. I'm hard to disappoint.
Yeah.
But with this, I'm being realistic because, you know, having talked about it and like I enjoyed it, but they're holes. They're holes.
That's holes.
There's holes.
You and I were excited for the costume though. Obviously, it'll probably look better in the movies, but the Captain America.
Oh yeah.
That's I don't know. I give it an 8 because I really did enjoy. Yeah, there's flaws in it, but it's definitely a step down from
Comic accurate.
Yeah, comic accurate too.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. See, so 8, 7.5, 7.5.
7.5.
All
There
right.
you go.
Oh, look at that.
No, I think you're being generous. I think you want to give it a 7.
Yeah, I don't think he wants
I
to.
think you want to give it a 7.
He wants to give it a
But you want a
5.
7.5 because you want to see how they shoot. But it's okay. It's okay.
It's a 7.5.
It's okay.
7.4.
I'm feeling great and feel the vibe. I'm really grateful we alive.
And I'm feeling great cause lately I've been on the way to something great. And I feel alive cause I create like every day and I'm on today.